Okay, hello everyone. First of all, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity they given to me to present my research on the third international conference on business education, innovation, and social science 2021. I am Nirmalasanti Anindya Pramesi. I am from Magister of Islamic Studies, Islamic University of Indonesia. Today, I'm going to present my research about the implementation of Maqasid Syari'ah in the concept of reforming the Indonesian marriage law based on gender equality, study of the Control Legal Draft Compilation of Islamic Law. I'm going to start with the introduction. In 2004, the Counter-Legal Draft Compilation of Islamic Law has offered several new ideas in the field of Islamic family law, specifically in marriage, inheritance, and wakaf. Some of the new ideas in the Counter-Legal Draft show that there is an attempt to change the fiqh understanding that has long been held by most Indonesian people. As I mentioned, since the Counter-Legal Draft team has an attempt to change the fiqh understanding, the existence of counter-legal draft has caused so many criticism, appreciation, and controversy among the public. With the various reactions addressed to counter-legal draft, as a researcher, I'm so interested in discussing the ideas of legal reform that are offered by the counter-legal draft team and how the implementation of Maqasid Syari'ah in the idea of renewing marriage law. This is very important to study because some several new provision or ideas aim to actualize the values of equality and justice for men and women, especially in the field of marriage, by eliminating discriminatory values that are considered to be still carried by the old marriage law and compilation of Islamic law. Next, we're going to talk about the reformation of Islamic family law in Indonesia. The emergence of Marriage Law Number 1 of 1974 at the beginning of the New Order regime became a symbol and a milestone in the reforming Islamic family law in Indonesia. 17 years after the existence of the marriage law, the Presidential Instruction Compilation of Islamic Law Number 1 of 1991 appeared, which became the legal guideline for judges in all religious courts in Indonesia. After about 12 years of the existence of compilation of Islamic law as a guideline for Islamic family law, there was an enthusiasm for Muslim academics to reconstruct the content of compilation of Islamic law. The Minister of Religion of the Republic of Indonesia, through the Presidential Instruction Number 1 of 2000 concerning gender mainstreaming in national development, began to form the team or the working group that are responded to the emergence of the new legal formal ideas by publishing a critical text against compilation of Islamic law, which was later called the Counter Legal Draft Compilation of Islamic Law in 2004. Next, we're going to talk about our main topic today, that what is counter-legal draft compilation of Islamic law, the new ideas and values. As a manifestation of the formalization of Islamic Sharia after the fall of the New Order regime, the counter-legal draft team was challenged to produce a foundation of Islamic Sharia that is following the character of the nation and Indonesian culture, as well as a form of democracy and human rights, including women's rights. The counter-legal draft compilation of Islamic law contained 116 Islamic Marriage Law Bill, 42 Islamic Inheritance Law Bill, and the 20 articles of Islamic Waqf Law Bill. And what is the new ideas that contained in the counter-legal draft compilation of Islamic law? The formulation in the compilation of Islamic law contains at least 19 crucial issues that has to be reconstructed or to be renewal. Among them are the problem of the meaning of marriage or the essence of marriage, wali nikah, marriage registration, age limit of marriage, dowry, interfaith marriage, polygamy, divorce, and reconciliation right, iddah period, in earning a living, marriage agreement, nusyus, family role, including rights and obligation, inheritance, children out of wedlock, and also all and road problem. And what is the values that contained in the counter-legal draft compilation of Islamic law? This counter-legal draft compilation is Islamic law is prepared based on 6 basic principles which become the foundation for the formulation of legal provision, such as the principle of benefit or al-maslahah, the principle of justice and gender equality, the principle of upholding human rights, the principle of pluralism, the principle of nationality, and the principle of democracy. Next, we're going to talk about the method of the control legal draft compilation of Islamic law. As well as the existing legal drafting process, control legal draft exists because of the various of process and activities that are interrelated and may be past systematic and involve many parties who are competent in their respective field. There are several main series in the process of establishing control legal draft. Number one is review of compilation of Islamic law, and then number two, study of classical Islamic literature. Number three, field studies in 5 regions in Indonesia include West Sumatra, South Sulawesi, West Java, Aceh, and West Nusa Tenggara. And then number four is scientific examination and absorption of the opinions of scholar and legal expert. And number five is dissemination of result and public testing. And then move. So, what is the new ideas of marriage law in the control legal draft? In Article 5 of the Book of Marriage Law in the control legal draft formulation states the purpose of marriage. There are two important points for marriage in the control legal draft compilation of Islamic law. First is to create a happy and prosperous household life or sakinah based on love or mawadah and rahmah. And second is to fulfill biological needs in a legal, healthy, safe, and responsible manner. And the next, before we talk about the implementation of Maqasid Syari'ah, we have to know what is Maqasid Syari'ah. Maqasid Syari'ah is a compound word which comes from two words, namely Maqasid and Syari'ah. The etymology meaning of Maqasid is the plural form of the word Maqasid, which consists of the letters Qaf, Shad, and Dal, which means purpose or intention. Meanwhile, the etymological definition of Syari'ah is born from the word Syara'a yashira'u syar'an, which means to make legal or statutory provision to state and explain. In my research, I am using two theories of Maqasid Syari'ah. The first theory is from the Abu Ishaq al-Shatibi, who was one of the usul fiqh scholars, began to discuss the concept of Maqasid Syari'ah specifically and systematically. He divided the concept of maslahat into 5 main aspects: religion, soul, mind, descent, and wealth. He also divided the level of maslahat into 3 stages: daruriyat, hajat, and tasiniyat. And the second theory that I'm using on my research is the contemporary trends that become the Maqasid approach. One of the contemporary approach proposed by Muhammad Hasim Kamali, which is called the Neo-Zahiri approach. The first approach tends to be reductionist or tafriti. It means Maqasid or the goal is limited to Sharia text and textual context. This means that the existence of the Maqasid must have proof through Sharia text and explain it. And the second tendency is expansionist or ifrati. This tendency means exaggerating the identification of Maqasid both from text and identification of new Maqasid without any clear evidence or arguments. And the third tendency, which is considered to be better than the trend, is moderate or wasati. This approach tends to the selection of the Maqasid which is supported by valid Sharia and valid precedents or arguments. Now, I'm going to discuss the 2 crucial points on the new legal provision that are offered by the control legal draft. The first new provision is the essence of marriage. The discussion of the essence of marriage shows that the control legal draft team are tried to change the definition of marriage to accommodate their interests of 2 parties who are married from a positive legal aspect. In Islam, the essence of marriage, besides being a form of a strong and solid agreement involving Allah or mitsaqan golidon, it is also a social contract that carries consent and qabul, which is carried out based on the willingness and agreement of both parties. From the perspective of Maqasid Syari'ah, marriage as a social contract is to create maslahah between husband and wife in carrying out marriage, because the issue must include the public interest, not only personal interest. A marriage relationship does not only involve the husband and wife, but also the family of each party, as well as the community interaction in the public sphere. From the contemporary Maqasid approach, Article 2 of the Control Legal Draft regarding the definition of marriage is a Maqasid with a moderate approach, or wasati. The selection of the Maqasid approach, supported by the text of Quran Surat An-Nisa, verse 21, and the hadith of the Prophet, as well as the valid precedent, is to protect the interests of positive legal aspect that marriage is a social contract or a contract that binds both parties, husband and wife, equally and is based on the willingness and agreement of both parties. And the second crucial issues is about the position, rights, and obligation of husband and wife. The legal institute carried out by the Control Legal Draft Team regarding the position, rights, and obligation of husband and wife also implement the spirit of Maqasid Syari'ah, which aims to safeguard the benefit between husband and wife in a household relationship, such as creating mutually respectful relationship, not dominating one another, eliminating the concept of female domestication, creating partnership, husband and wife might helping each other and contributing to household affairs and also the economic needs of the family. From the contemporary Maqasid approach, the legal provision in Article 45, paragraph 1 and 2 Control Legal Draft are a moderate approach or wasati. This is supported by the text Quran Surat An-Nisa verse 34 and Al-Baqarah verse 187 and Surah An-Nisa verse 19, as well as the hadith of the Prophet narrated by Bukhari, which tells the wife of Abdullah radiallahu anhu, namely Zainab, who was then the head of the family because she worked to support her family. This legal provision is also supported by a valid precedent, which is to create a relationship that is zawaj, mubadalah, muawanah, and musharafah. So the final, we're going with the conclusion. The substance of the idea of counter-legal draft compilation of Islamic law from various sides considered three important aspects. The first is aspect of locality, the aspect of nationality, and the aspect of global acting. And mostly, the implementation of Maqasid Syari'ah in the reform of the control legal draft is based on the benefit of the people by adjusting the social condition of Indonesian society, which aims to create an ideal family which upholds the values of equality and justice. I think that's all for today. Thank you for your attention.